Welcome back. All right, so we're about an hour and a half out from knowing which restricted free agents aren't getting qualifying offers. So I'm not putting up on the board the players that has leaked out. This guy's not getting one. This guy's not getting one. I'm staying out of that, and I'm staying out of some of the speculation bit too on who's probably going to sign who. I will say it's not on the board, but apparently Jake Gensel was offered 8 times 8 by the Carolina Hurricanes, so an $8 million cap hit, and he turned it down and told them late in the draft that he wasn't going to be re-signing in Carolina. So that's where that went, and we'll see whether or not he extends in Tampa Bay today. I'm guessing probably, but again, unpredictable this time of year. So we're going to start at the top of the board, of course. Max Domi is staying with the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's a 4-year extension. The cap hits $3.75 million. A lot of discussion about whether or not he should get a raise and yada, yada, yada. Apparently, they're still working to extend Tyler Bertuzzi as well. They're seen as being in on Zadorov. They may not be in on some of the others. And obviously, teams are talking to players. They can't exactly give out the cap money, of course. They have to be very careful because there's the whole tampering rules. But it does look like Toronto's working on getting a top 4 defenseman. That is a priority for them this year. So, one thing I wanted to throw in here too, the entry level increases. So the entry level max salary cap hit goes up to $975,000 for 2024 draft choices. It was $950,000 for what feels like forever was the maximum amount that rookies can make. And anytime that the rookie max goes up, or we talk about the rookie max, I always think of Jeremy Roenick in my mind when he was asked after they got the salary cap done and everything in 04-05, and he was asked about how he felt about the fact that, rookies couldn't make these multi-million-dollar contracts out of the gate. And his response was, I've made my money. So the honesty was appreciated at the time, and it made for a funny quote. At any rate, so entry-level deals go up. There's bonuses go up a little bit, too. Rookie contracts worth a little bit more money today for this draft class than for previous draft classes. So the Florida Panthers having their parade today. Paul Maurice's shirt being a hit. Custom, where he's taken the Panthers' current logo and old logo, the current logo on the front, the old logo on the back, and put his own cat's faces in there, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Florida's had fun with that logo. There's, of course, the drawing the kid made of the Panthers logo, which looks great. And I've seen some people upset that teams didn't congratulate the Panthers on winning the Stanley Cup at the draft. I always hated that. I'm going to be honest, I always thought when teams go, we'd like to congratulate the 2019 Stanley Cup champion St. Louis Blues. Why? Like, it is a weird thing for every team in the league to go, we'd like to congratulate the team that beat us in the playoffs on knocking us out and then knocking everybody else out. So, congratulations, bunch of jerks. Anyways, our draft pick is, and not only that, but sometimes the speeches they would make before they make their draft picks, it's a little bit long. So the fact that no teams did it makes me wonder if the NHL said something to them beforehand. But I've seen people upset that the Panthers weren't congratulated. Oh, people have forgotten Florida won the Stanley Cup. No, we haven't. Nobody's forgotten Florida won the Stanley Cup. That's not a thing. There's nobody walking around going, who was it won the Stanley Cup? I can't remember. It was one of the best finals we've ever seen. So I understand people want like this big celebration, but it doesn't happen. It's not like people were actually happy for Vegas when they won last year outside of Vegas fans. And so when GMs and scouts go up to the podium and they're like, hey, we'd like to congratulate the Stanley Cup champions. No, you don't. You don't want to congratulate the Stanley Cup champions. You wanted to be the Stanley Cup champion. So I am perfectly fine with teams not doing that anymore. I don't think it's a Florida conspiracy. We can revisit it next year if other teams congratulate them, but it's really not a big deal. And then for Florida, that's the Stanley Cup. And they could put a banner up that the other 31 teams can't for being Stanley Cup champions in 2024. And I don't think the players are going to be upset either because they won the Stanley Cup. So they don't really care about whether or not they got congratulated during the draft. It's such a weird thing for people to focus on. I can't believe they didn't. Why? To me, it always felt forced, and it always the way I always kind of pictured it was the first team goes up and they congratulate the Stanley Cup champions, and then the other tables are like, now we have to go up and congratulate them too, or else we're jerks. I'm not happy they won, but fine, I'll go up and announce, hey, congratulations, whoopity doo. Like, and I wish somebody had done it that way. But anyways, yeah, Florida, they have their parade. Paul Maurice, a big hit. Aaron Ekblad holding up apparently he was wearing a traffic cone on his head and he was holding that up because the statement had been made by somebody that you'd be better off having a traffic cone than Aaron Ekblad out there. And again, for people who are trying to dunk on that, saying, oh, Ekblad wasn't a part of that Stanley Cup anyways, and look at his numbers. He won the Stanley Cup. Like, so say whatever you want, but Ekblad has the Stanley Cup ring. So, yeah, Florida in the news today. There you go. And I wanted to throw this in here because it's going to be news in my house. So it's news to me. Jet Wu has signed a 1-year, 2-way extension with the Vancouver Canucks. It's worth $775,000 at the NHL level, $150,000 at the AHL level. He is my daughter's favorite hockey player, and it's always kind of a big deal when he gets a point or he's announced on the board because you can yell woo. So yeah, Jet Wu staying in Abbotsford. I probably should have just put the Abbotsford logo up there, which is of course Johnny Canuck. But yeah, so Wu signs a 1-year, 2 extension with the Canucks, and again, keeping my eye on all the qualifying offers. I will be doing a video on the qualifying offers once that deadline is passed and we've seen an entire list of who's not been qualified, and then we can talk about which really attractive free agents are all of a sudden available tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be crazy, absolutely crazy. The one that kind of stands out to me is Columbus not extending Alex Nylander. I know Nylander had a good run with Columbus at the end of the season, but don't overestimate a run of 15 or 20 games. You have to look at the whole body of work, and I guess Don Waddell felt wasn't worth the qualifying offer. He's looking in another direction. But we'll be talking about that after 2 o'clock my time, so stay tuned for that. Let me know your thoughts on the Domi extension, and again, on Florida. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.